Here we are live now. Okay.
Good morning, all. Myself, Shayantika Mandal, your moderator for today, pursuing Farm Day and a member of Public Relations Subcommittee. Today, I take this opportunity to welcome you all in today's session 3 of Metaverse Hackathon workshop organized by IPASF. We have already learned about launch your meta pharmacy with 8XR blockade games and common sense of medicines by Ravil sir, and the synergy of meta pharmacy with Web3 by Arun sir in session 1. We also heard about 11 ways to market your brand in Metaverse in the session 2 by Abhishek Rajpurohit sir of Metaverse Hackathon workshop. And today, I am more than delighted to welcome Ms. Maria Helime, Chief Metaverse Officer at ISPPA, who will give us insights about use cases for meta pharmacy. Welcome you, ma'am. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be with you all in this session today. And I will start just to share my presentation. So in today's workshop, in the third workshop of this hackathon, we will talk about the use cases for the metaverse in pharmacy applications. So we will dig into real practical examples to get you involved in how we can envision the future of the pharmacy. So as you have previously introduced to the metaverse, you might knew that with the technology involvement, innovation, and digitalization, the Internet Web3 networks are going far beyond our expectations, and they are actually going far beyond just connecting people. So what is the metaverse? Like in just real or simple words, how we can introduce the metaverse concept to ourselves. So the metaverse is just like a network of linked virtual worlds, and these worlds are overlapping with physical realities. So they can facilitate an immersive experience to meet and interact without any geographical boundaries. And the word metaverse is actually a combination of two words, which are the meta and the universe. The meta refers to the experiences that are actually lived in our real lives in the physical setting, and the universe, which is an emerging virtual economy that creates a real world value. So combining meta with the universe as totally refers to having a virtual experience in your real physical world, and this virtual experience have a real value in your life. So that's why the metaverse makes a broad shift in how we interact with technology through the convergence of physical, virtual, augmented, or even mixed realities technologies. So I want here to take you to just think about an example. And how this can be reflective in pharmacy and in healthcare in general. So imagine that we have a patient, and this patient is having paralysis. So this patient is unable to move out to his home. He's unable to interact, and this patient is actually having several diseases that he's taking medications for. So imagine how bad these patients feel and how actually this patient is unable to be included in many physical activities that normal people have. So he cannot just like go swimming, he cannot go for hiking, just cannot go for walking and too many activities that that the normal people do. So imagine that this patient with just like a virtual headset, how he can envision and live these real life experiences with just like one click. And this actually will not only improve the patient's well-being and mental health, but it will also reflect on his responsiveness to his medication, because everything is interrelated to each other, everything integrated with the patient's health. So that's why the metaverse doesn't only eliminate physical boundaries between people and seek to extend social interactions to a virtual setting, but it also influences people's social lives and every aspect of human well-being, including healthcare and pharmacy and medicine. And this can be only with one click in personal virtual VR or augmented AR headsets, so that users can simulate the physical world into a virtual atmosphere and enjoy an immersive experience of a virtually interacting together. So now talking about digital health and pharmacy, how we can think about real practical examples of pharmaceutical applications and how digital health can transform healthcare. So in this picture, on the left, you can see several applications like telehealth, wearable devices, mobile health applications, personalized medicine, telemedicine, electronic medical records, and electronic healthcare records. And these are very wide examples of how digital health are integrated in healthcare applications. And we have also several databases that include several applications such as digital health tools, digital therapeutics, digital biomarkers, pharma and pharmacies, health systems, employers, providers, and patients. All of them, they can be a part of one database to just find digital healthcare solutions such as applications, devices, services, and also resources. So we can see that the practice of pharmacy has evolved from simply dispensing drugs to a more service-based models where pharmacists can counsel patients and help patients know how to manage their diseases. And actually, trends in healthcare are moving towards stronger emphasis on preventive medicine and healthier behaviors. And pharmacists' expertise can help to achieve these goals. So for that, the implementations of virtual reality for patient counseling care and research can help actually to transform these services. And our first application, our first case for the metaverse in pharmacy is represented in NINOM application, which is an application for drug discovery. So in this application, pharmacists or healthcare providers can use this application to discover new drugs and lead compounds, and can actually use it to include 3D modeling for drug structures and targets. So immersive virtual reality can have a significant prospects for its use in molecular modeling for the identification and designs of lead compounds for drug development. So in this application, actually what makes it more or better than other 2D or computational drug compounds or drug discovery processes is that it shows a 3D view of the drug, which has a lot of advantages than just like having 2D view of the drug. So with VR integrated in this application, researchers can observe the dynamics of protein structures configurations, while they can also focus on ligand binding sites and other areas of interest. So it is a very interesting tool for introducing new compounds and discovering new lead drug molecules, and also practice molecular modeling. And here are just like a few glimpse into the examples that this application can provide, like molecule and project data, automated docking, and molecular dynamics and calculated properties. So it is considered as the most effective tool for drug design and design making process in drug discovery and drug development. Now, the second application that we will talk about is the applied VR, which is actually the product of a company that focus on immersive environments. But what is actually immersive environments? Well, immersive environments are virtual or hybrid worlds that healthcare providers and patients or consumers engage for either educational or assistive or therapeutic purposes. So immersive therapeutics, for example, interventions to prevent, manage, or treat medical disorders or diseases. And these interventions are delivered while using technologies such as virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed realities. So applied VR, which is just like an example that we will talk about, is an example of how we can use immersive environments to produce innovative digital health solutions. So in applied VR at this company, virtual reality-based treatments present a comprehensive approach to chronic pain that empowers patients with accessible digital tools to self-manage their own diseases or their own conditions at their own homes. So applied VR can be delivered by a biopsychological biosocial solution to address biosocial condition of a chronic pain. And the other other application for the applied VR, or the applied application for applied VR, is called Relief VR X, which is considered the first FDA approved medication, and actually it is the only FDA authorized immersive virtual reality at home to control pain, especially for patients who have chronic lower back pain. And throughout this medication, it can decrease pain level or pain severity and influence the patient's life at their homes. The other application for the immersive environment is called XR Health. And XR Health is like a virtual clinic that healthcare providers, pharmacists, doctors, medical professionals can interact with patients throughout this platform. So it provides a virtual reality treatments throughout the virtual consultation room, where patients can interact directly with the doctors. And it is also considered, it is actually delivered via FDA registered medical VR applications, and they are guided by licensed therapists. So these are considered as virtual clinics that empowers patients to receive care at any time, anywhere using XR technology. And now we can move on to talk about another application, which is a little bit different from immersive environments, because it is a direct application of the digital twins. And digital twins are actually a representation of real world entities, but they exist in the virtual worlds. And they can manipulate it to give insight for proper healthcare decision-making. This can include accelerating medical device development and clinical trials with digital patient twins. And the direct or the application for the digital twins that we will talk about is called Virtunomy. And it is a very well-known application that introduces virtual patients that you can see here on the picture. Like, for example, we can have virtual patients or virtual organs, like a heart failure patient, male patient, cleft, pig, female patients, or sheep. And actually, they can include animals. These organs or these virtual patients can be manipulated by the healthcare provider or the pharmacist, and the pharmacist or the user can integrate, for example, a chemical compound or a drug or an intervention to these organs, and they can see how these organs will respond to these interventions or these treatments. And the outcomes for that will be having a reflection on how we can see that the real organs or the real patients can respond to these virtual entities. So this actually have a lot of benefits in our real lives, because this simulation is based on an ever-expanding database of real clinical data to reflect wide varieties of organs and patients and demographic diversities and pathological conditions as well. So this can help to reduce risk of clinical trials, and of course it will reduce expenses and regulatory burdens, and for sure it will be accelerating the drug development process. The next application for the digital twins is called PyPeylon, which actually gives a quick access to the patient, and to, like, it can be considered as a connection between patient and the pharmacist, or the patient and the nurses or the medical doctor, right from their homes. So patient can just simply register to this application, and they can insert their information, their heart rate, their BMI, anything related to their conditions or the disease risk, and the pharmacist and the patient, the doctor can see how the patient is performing throughout the day. So they can see the patient progress 24 hours per day. They can see their BMI, their food intake, their hydration level, their protein, and they can make recommendations based on the patient information and the patient progress every day at any time. Another application is called like VR for health, and it is actually like a platform for patients, for doctors, for anyone to just get involved and see how what is the current progress of medications and digital health and digital therapies and so on. So it doesn't only provide a platform to provide clinical benefits, but also it helps patients learn more about wellness and therapeutics virtual realities applications, and it can connect with virtual reality solutions with companies and help them learn more about the references or the digital health progress in many organizations. So it can be a platform for anyone to know how to leverage digital health solutions in pharmaceutical, healthcare companies or industries or professionals to help them progress and see how they can improve their products. So this is also an application which is called VR Pharma, which is designed for clinicians and for pharmacists and healthcare providers to improve patient care easily. So it provides a ready-to-use system, content of full library, and necessary training for staff. In just like a little as 20 seconds, the medical staff can put patients under amazing virtual experiences and improve the patient satisfaction and quality of healthcare. So as many technology and as any innovative healthcare industry, it does have many limitations. So what are the limitations for the digital health applications or the metaverse applications and pharmacy? Well, there are a lot of limitations. So the first limitations that we have is that we do not have a large sample size for the digital healthcare solutions on patients. The other limitation is that we are not sure about the risks and about the security or the privacy of the patients in these applications as well. So because also in digital twins or even in other applications, the patient data are decentralized, which makes them accessed and overlapped sometimes, especially if we are talking about digital twins. We can have something like some data integrated with each other and overlapped with each other. Also talking about the cost of these equipments and expenses are very high. So we have some technical capabilities limitations, like as we talked about unrealistic avatars interfering with VR immersive environments, and of course the accessibility of these applications to patients, to remote areas or to rural areas, or to patients who don't have high economic conditions, will be also a question that we need to also to think about and see how we can make these limitations resolved and make these solutions accessed to all types of areas or all types of patients at any time. So definitely we need more research to be conducted, and we need to have proper integrated solutions to better study the effect of these, the efficacy and effectiveness and the safety of these applications. So now, as we came up to the end of the session today, or the workshop on the applications of the meta pharmacy, I want you to imagine how a meta pharmacy can look like, and how it can be like envisioned or simulated in the real world. So in the virtual pharmacy, I want you to imagine that we have a patient who is having diabetes, and he's actually now suffering from an emergent situation where he is actually unable to move out of his house, and he's having an injury or is having he want to take his insulin or any diabetic medication that he is taking at the moment. So what is the solution that we have for this patient where he is having an emergency that he cannot just come out of his home, and he is also want a service that can help him take his medication? So here we can come up with the virtual pharmacy or the meta pharmacy. With a meta pharmacy, the patient can join the application or the virtual consultation room and see the pharmacist, interact with the pharmacist, and the pharmacist can help this patient get to know how to use his medication, how to use insulin, and how he can resolve his urgent situation or respond to other treatment conditions or other healthcare conditions that the patient is currently have. Also, the pharmacist can provide patient counseling services and help this patient interact with the pharmacist in just like a real world entity, rather than just like having a call or talking to the pharmacist throughout the pharmacy on WhatsApp or in just like delivering or calling him with a mobile phone. So with this simulation, the patient has a real experience in the virtual consultation room. His patient services has improved, and of course the outcome and the effectiveness of the healthcare service has been extended to be delivered to the patient right at his home. So this is just like a brief example or just a simulative example how the virtual pharmacy can have an impact on the patient on different levels. So at the end of the session, I'd like to end with this quote for Matt Mulwing, which resembles how technology is best when it brings people together. So the aim of every technology, through either if it was used for pharmacy, for healthcare, for social services, for any reason, the main aim is to bring people together and help them get connected and get involved as well with with all aspects of life. So I hope that you have enjoyed and learned about these examples. And if you have any questions, I will be open for questions. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Miss Maria. It was an informative session.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
So next we have a video by Benjamin Kocher, head of Growth Lighthouse, on the topic, the Metaverse search engine with Lighthouse. I would request to play the video.
Benjamin from Lighthouse here. Really
Hello,
excited
is
to be
the video
presenting
audible?
you Lighthouse during the Meta Pharmacy Hackathon. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there
Yes.
live, but it's going to be a pleasure to respond to some questions in the Discord channel over the weekend, and hopefully have an amazing time with some great speakers for you. So maybe talk a bit about Lighthouse. We started the project about a year and a half ago with a big goal to become the open metaverse navigation engine. So the Google Maps for the metaverse, the Google Maps of the immersive web. And we had a big vision, is to really help to facilitate meaningful connections across the users of the open metaverse. So help to link all the worlds together and all its creators in order to help them have enhanced visibility for their craft and the work that they're putting in. We saw two big trends in the industry. First of all, the web was evolving in order to become much more immersive. So it started with Web 1, which was only text, Web 2, text, video, and now with Web 3, and also all the internet going more immersive and live. We saw that the spatial web was going to become, the next evolution of the internet. Second thing that we saw and we backed upon is the fact that creators are becoming the new rock stars of their generation. So every kid want to be a YouTuber, and right now the goal is to enable those creators to shine and make money. So as an aggregator, Lighthouse goal is really help people find their friends, find the best events by liking, following them, pinning them to their profiles, find the best groups, the best ways that they can participate in the spatial web, and really serve them with all type of tools and analytics in order for their lives to become easy. The open metaverse has really evolved over the last few years. Mainly what we saw is fragmentation. So with interest rates being low and the interest in the space being high, we saw the emergence of a lot of different worlds. Every couple months or so. So in 2018 there was less than five open type of Web3 metaverse worlds, and in 2022 and leading to 2023 there's about 200 different worlds that are in the making or actually live right now. So fragmentation is really going up. With that said, we really dig deep in the subject, and we wrote about 150 pages report on interoperability. So it's really a great Bible with interviews from some of the best founders in this space, such as Timu from Ready Player Me, Sebastian from the Sandbox, Jin Dang VR, which is a real open source maxi and VR uh, elite in the space. So there's really some great interviews and knowledge in there about interoperability, why it's important for the space, how the open metaverse is going to evolve around this in the future, and why this is how there's a path to having really great opportunities and a way to change how the internet is made of and how creators leads to its success and participate in the upside. So really interesting report. I suggest to you that you go visit it. I'm gonna send the link as well to be able for you to be able to access it easily. So as an aggregator, what we decided to do is to focus on three main pillars. The first one is search. So basically thousands of experiences from all the corners of the open metaverse. You get to see them with personalized recommendations, a broad ecosystem of different creators highlighting their own events and their parties, places where you can visit, as well as brands that are on the platform and explorers that are just there to have fun and connect with people. The second main branch is social. So we have real social graph features, including follow, friend, like, pin, and also a really cool extension that allows you to find your friends wherever they are in the metaverse. So which means that if your location is on, you can actually jump directly to your friends while they're online and go connect with them. So our goal is really to bring people together. And the third branch is analytics, so enabling creators, to see where the traffic is coming from. So just wanted to highlight here a couple of pages in the report. We try to make parallels with, the pharmaceutical industry as well as medicine, just in order to help you out in your discovery of the space and how it could help you in your careers. So our report was really broad. We talked about the history of the metaverse as well as the opportunities that are along the road and how it's going to unlock, creator-driven commerce. We talked about the milestones for the open metaverse, so what is required in order to achieve, truly open web and interoperability between the different players in there. Then we took a look about the spatial web and how it's going to evolve over time. And it's really, really ingrained and in details. Uh, So just running you through a couple of pages of the report as well as some of the contributors in there. So there's Evan from Disco, which is working on backpacks for digital privacy. There is Fateme, which is a great architect and builder in the space. Fuck Render, which does really great, art, digital art, and NFT collections. There's Jamie from Outlier Ventures, which was a pioneer in investing in Web3 and the Metaverse. Jin, which, as I said before, founder of M3org, but really a good open source maxi as well as a VR pioneer. There's Justin from Mona, which is one of the main, Web3 world, really focused on artists and creators. Louis Ferd, an architect. Robbie Young from Animoca Brands, which are one of the largest investors in the Metaverse and Web3 in general. Ryan Gale from Crucible. Sebastian from the Sandbox. Timu from Ready Player Me. So really great report here. So maybe I'll just kick it off with a quote from Jonathan, the co-founder and CEO of Lighthouse. So at Lighthouse, we believe that the metaverse will completely change our way of interacting with the web. It will empower users to step into the frame and live experiences instead of just seeing them from the outside. It will turn browsing from a solo experience to a multiplayer one, where surfing the web will be inherently social. We define this new 3D era of the internet as a spatial web. Another great quote from the report, which is from Robbie Young, CEO of Animoca Brands. In his words, if Facebook, Fortnite, and Minecraft all decided to open themselves up and be interoperable today, I would call that the metaverse. I don't see any reason why what we have today is not already in the metaverse, except it lacks the interoperability and the ability to take your stuff from place to place. If we were able to have that interop, then we've largely got the metaverse already. Interoperability may not be a sexy vision, but I think it's a more fair and inclusive one. So really, he's pushing the importance of all the parties working together in order to make a cohesive, live, immersive experience digital world in a sense, in order for people to collaborate and create an economy all together that supports each other up. Here at page 90, there's a great quote from Jin. Social is the killer use case for the metaverse and VR. But thinking in zero-sum games is a Web2 concept. Instead of seeing other metaverse projects as competition, I'd rather find ways to complement or extend those systems. How to give users more freedom, how to give users more ways to connect, explore, and have fun. And I think that's a great point that you guys can relate with when you think about how you could explore the space in your future career and as well as just for fun entertainment. So it's really important to remember that social is the way to go. So people want to connect together, both in real life, but as well as digitally. And the metaverse really allows to make those intimate connection and really to develop relationships across the web in a more live and immersive manner that is not possible and typical with two services such as Messenger, Facebooks, and other social platforms. And you need to really leverage that and get open eyes on how you know you can leverage all the different ecosystems at the same time and connect them all together when you make your experiences in order to leverage the space to its maximum. Maybe the last topic, which is interesting, is the convergence of VR and AI. So with AI, I think we'll see it. UGC become much more easier, so the barriers to entry for new creators become lower, and we'll see rich experiences coming out exponentially. Hi guys. So now you can see me visually. I think it's gonna help a lot for the demo. So right now, what I want to do is really to run you through a bit of a Lighthouse, the platform, how you can leverage it through your exploration of the space, and hopefully you can create yourselves accounts and test out the product and see if you like it or not. Give us some views, comments. We would absolutely love it, and try to integrate with the community as much as possible. They'll welcome you with open arms. So lighthouse.world. So if you want to visit us, really simple as that. You'll arrive on our landing page where you click here to launch the app. So as you can see, there's multiple tabs, but you'll land on the Home tab where you can see really an overview of the best events and places that you can jump to into the different virtual worlds. So we actually aggregate more than 20 different virtual worlds in there, and you also see some recommendations based on your search, your previous jumps, so really tailored to you and based on where your friends are as well. You can be interested, pin them to your profile, etc., and recommended places as well. You can also filter out your view to see it only to see only events, only places, or only uh, creators. Yeah, so three featured creators, which are active members of the space, really pushing it forward. It varies from time to time. It's always new, and there's also all different kinds of popular popular users of the space that you should connect with, as well as jump in the world and try to have social connections with them and try to understand their vision of the space and what they do and how they see it going forward. Then you'll see here that there's a couple of others, type of features uh, that you could use, but only if you're signed in. So I'm gonna try signing in myself. So clicking on sign in, then joining either email or social if you don't have a wallet, or your wallet. For me, I'm gonna put my wallet. We have a really great integration with Privy, so no worries about inputting your wallet. So it's really secure, safe. Or if you're not comfortable, just use email or SSO, which is great. So then you'll arrive on the platform where you'll see a small onboarding flow. So welcoming you to the Lighthouse portal, showing you how it works, and you also get one or two avatars if you're able to complete the whole onboarding. So definitely some sick avatars that are in the forms or VRMs that you can use across multiple worlds. So really great to have something to dress upon when you explore the space. So I'm creator, explorer, Benjamin, following a couple of people there already, my friends. Amazing. Downloading the Chrome extension, so what allows you to find your friends in the different worlds, so seeing which one are active. So opening the Chrome store, downloading the extension, perfect. I have it. Amazing. Got it. Perfect. Now the second step is actually to just go on your profile and start, filling it up. So for me, uh, Benjamin, Benjamin Coot, my handle, about me, Metaverse Explorer, advocate for interrupt and user privacy, my avatar, or just a photo if you don't have avatar. Same thing for my banner. Then my sites, I uploaded my Twitter as well. So if you want to follow me there, you can as well. My tags, etc. Saving that. And then I pinned a few of my favorite spaces in the different worlds there. My own places and events that I created. So if you want to jump and visit them as well, you can. Events as well that I did in the past. So all possible to find in my gates as well as on the different tabs if you search for them. I see that ICC is online. Let's jump. Amazing. So my first jump to ICC in spatial. So clicking here. She's actually in LM Designs 8 space in spatial, which is a great world that you can connect to on mobile as well as on your VR if you have one. So it's an amazing space when it comes to user friendliness. And now let's explore a bit around. I have my avatar as well, Ready Player Me, which is really cool for this space. I see that the world is not fully done and she's still building it, so won't go any more longer than that. Oh, that's cool. So you can actually go through portals there as well, collect stuff, which is amazing. So pretty cool space uh, overall. So going back to Lighthouse, I want I want to go through an experiment with you guys and search, for pharmacy, in order to see if there's something in there that could be relevant for us. So I think we're ready for a second job. So we'll go to Awesome the Water. Amazing. So we're in exclusable space. Really cool one, interactive, with a pretty nice luxury look, cool. So yeah, pretty great overall. The second search that I just did is Alt. I can see there is space for Alt Tech, Brazil Innovation Hub. There's Alt Meta as well, and World, which is a past event that was pretty cool. Uh, there's a couple of spaces that you could visit regarding health, mental health, medicine as well. So that's pretty nice. Maybe on page 2 there's something else that where we could go. Nothing relevant. So maybe we go visit maybe the Infinitopia Health and Wealth Center, which is also in spatial. Health and Wealth Center, even the yoga place portal. Pretty cool spot whenever there's an event. Now it's kind of empty, but yeah, pretty cool. Well, yeah, so one thing I wanted to show you guys is really how you can filter the results uh, created by people you know, friends, and also all the different worlds on the index. So maybe a few that I can point out for you of my favorite worlds. The sandbox when it comes to play to earn and for games. Uh, Spatial when it comes to user friendliness and events. Sujin for graphics. Run day for meetings. Portals really to find a nice community on Solana and also more of a blocky Minecraft vibes. Mona for graphics as well, artist. I prefer a really good one for avatars, and obviously this umbrella. So maybe a few avenues where you could explore the metaverse and leverage it for your own career, your own path in pharmacy, medicine. Uh, Basically, first, there's multiple spaces for different practices to consult experts. So, for example, when we talk about law, there's a few metaverse lawyers, so people and firms that set up shop in different worlds where they hold office hours, where you can actually see them, ask some questions, not only regarding the metaverse but law in general. So, pretty cool. Same thing applies to medicine. You can host, wellness events, panels of speakers. You can also do the same thing as the law model, which is pretty interesting. Recently, there was a cool event with Supermind, Super Nina, uh, which was the World of Wellness, which was really cool. So you can organize events like this. I think there's a big opportunity for medicine in in the spatial computing era, especially for students as well that want to explore. With the launch of the Vision Pro, MetaQuest 3, so multiple VR type of devices, I think can really push through, the different aspects of, how you can leverage the immersive web in order to provide, some visually pleasing, 3D experiences for uh, different type of projects. So maybe for your own use to visualize different things, uh, maybe just to create events and connect with a wider global audience. That's pretty cool. Uh, you can also connect with community members from different spheres, so maybe asthma, hypertension, diabetes. So you can really explore, different concepts and try to create your own niche in your own communities in different worlds. maybe for you, the best communities that I would recommend, or the best place to start building or just to start connecting, is Spatial, because it's really good when it comes to user friendliness of creating spaces, builds, as well as the community. I think it's a great space, and also Hyperfy, pretty easy, and Hyperfy to create your land, explore, plug and play with different environments. So really good place to build up shop, or just to start to connect. Overall, I hope that you guys, create your gate on Lighthouse, connect with friends here like I did, uh, and also just have fun. Felix, who works at Lighthouse, is really good in world building, so you can ask him any questions that you want. So he built spaces in Hyperfire mostly, but also in voxels, and Mona, and Spatial, Shara. So you can visit his stuff as well. Some of the events we did for Lighthouse, and Mona also he built. So really cool guy, and I suggest that you can ask him some questions when it comes to building your own stuff. With that said, guys, I hope that you enjoy the little lesson that I did. That tried to play with Lighthouse and with the space as well. Always there to answer some questions in the Discord as well via DM and Twitter, and just play around, have fun.
You all learned about the Metaverse search engine with Lighthouse. Now, I'm delighted to welcome Arun Nadarsa sir to give us the insights in the topic Pharmacy in the Era of Web 4.0, Embracing the Fulfillment Economy. Sir, please give us some insights.
Yes, for sure. Just because I'm like, first of all, thank you all so much for being today. I just want to apologize for last week when it went to 2.5 hours. So this time try to keep it short and concise. So how many minutes do I have left? Because then I can speed up the presentation, respecting everyone's time, of course. Give or take, how many minutes do I have?
Have time, sir. You can share. Look.
Okay, sure. If I speak too much, tell me to stop, okay? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And thanks again to Maria for coming in to represent. So for people that doesn't know, Maria is a pharmacist as well. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
So I got his presentation, present, full screen. Okay, so basically, wait, am I looking in the right one? Please bear with me. Okay. Sorry, wrong presentation. Got so many of them. Week 3. Okay, that's the one. Yeah. Okay. Present. Okay, so in today's presentation, I'll be discussing about Web 4 from when the EU announced it this week. And I'm going to talk briefly about the fulfillment economy. And I did do 2 videos, which I'll be sharing in the Discord channel, because then you can watch it at your own pace. So yeah, Web 4.0, Emerald Academy, and Deep Ocean. So yeah, so what is, first I want to address web evolution. So basically, as a quick refresh, because people may have heard me talk about this last year, but basically Web 1 is when in the 90s you could read article online. And then back in the 2000, you could read article, write content on social media. That was kind of the enabler for UGC, user generated content. And Web 3 was kind of pioneered by the co-founder of Ethereum, where he defined as read, write, and own asset using blockchain technology. So since then, there's been so many different, let's say, definition of the metaverse, But for me personally, when I saw Web 4, it made more sense because now I don't need to give the full definition of metaverse, as you say, Web 4. And for me to kind of explain it better, I'm using this read, write, own, and experience. So basically, experience is what's making Web 4 easier to communicate the message to somebody else. Because what people had, they had Web 3, which is the blockchain part of it, but then they kind of had to explain the metaverse platform, explain how the ideal structure would look like, and then talk about Web 3. But now by just saying Web 4, people understand, okay, so basically it's read, write, own, experience with two kind of the digital and the physical interchanging information to each other, kind of providing us like value for both users, whether it as a human or to say avatar of a robot operated with artificial intelligence. So as you might know, there's been the launch of the Apple Vision Pro next year. And that's how the user interface is going to look like, where you kind of click with your eye and your finger, from what I remember. I think it's your eye, but I have to double check that. But I highly recommend to watch it. Then also the Meta Quest 3 that have a better like hand tracking technology for people to play game and any kind of social experiences. So that was a definition from the EU that came out this week. So people might remember me when I discussed on week 1 launch about the metaverse with the definition of matchable. Basically, Web 4 is basically the same thing. It's just that instead of giving matchable definition, I just have to say Web 4, right? So that means everyone that's taking part in a hackathon, you can be talking to each other and say Web 4, and you understand each other straight away because you have that knowledge now, right? So that's the definition of Web 4 according to the EU. So 4th generation, okay? Artificial intelligence, which is what everyone will be using with the generative AI tool. Ambient intelligence, when I first read this week, I was like, what's ambient intelligence? Basically, what it means is like the interaction between a human and the like devices, like for example, Alexa, when you say, hey Siri, can you put an alarm? That's you interacting with your mobile phone with your voice only. That's ambient intelligence. Then there's brain-computer interface, which basically you can navigate through with your brain tool. But with the Apple Vision tool, we can test the human interface connection or something like that. So basically, you're interacting to a kind of with your eye, with your hand. And then you can see here, Internet of Things like IoT, blockchain transaction, virtual world, and XR capabilities. XR is a combination of augmented reality and virtual reality. As you can say, digital and real objects, fully integrated, introduced, so that means interoperability, intuitive, immersive, and of course the blending of both, and also that's persistent, right? So basically the 4 pillars of the EU in that document, when I went through, it's about give or take 50, 60 pages. So I didn't want to read 50, 60 pages. I just got the most important information, summarized it to give you like a good foundation knowledge so that if anyone asks you what's Web 4, you can tell them easily. So basically they explain that it's about upskilling people with different sets of skills. For example, how to do like spatial computing, how to do like a metaverse platform scene, like a meta pharmacy, which is what everyone is doing right now. Supporting the Web 4 industrial ecosystem. Well, that's for Europe specifically, but every participant of this hackathon is developing the industrial ecosystem for India and South Asia, right? That's what I mean. Every single one of you are pioneers. Then the progress of the society and virtual public services. So basically the same thing that you can, in UK, you can access to services from the home of like your council in terms of your housing, finances. You can either call them, go to the website. Similarly, instead of using the Web 2, Web 3 tool, you'll be using Web 4, basically. Instead of you physically to the home office or council, you can go straight using your avatar, using some kind of XR headset, right? And then, of course, the governance part is, in a nutshell, nobody should own the internet. Like the same line, nobody owns the internet. Nobody should own the metaverse. It's available to everyone. Then you have metaverse platform, which is assigned as website. That's a different story. So basically, they have these things on governance to make sure there's no big player that dominate the market, right? So the opportunity in there, which I really loved, is emphasis on healthcare, which is what everyone is as a pharmacist and pharmacy student. So basically, it's going to help with education, which is what every single one of you is doing right now for the past 3 weeks, and so those that took part to the first season. Then it talks about green transition, so basically explaining better on how global warming is impacted by daily activities, and also convince the council to invest money or the government into greener, let's say, activities, project. And also another thing is carbon footprint will be reduced massively, because when everyone go to work, they go by car. Like, for example, you might go by train. By instance, can you imagine you can work from your home where you're actually surrounded by an office? That's a part of the Metaverse platform, or Metaverse, aka Web.4, which can be referred, of course, as a, let me think of the best word, but initially Web4, basically working from home, which is kind of a great enabler for a new economy. Art and fashion, so basically digital fashion, music, visual art. So by using generative AI, you're able to create some new kind of content that's never been done before. And education, of course. So right now, toward the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you something I did literally yesterday with a tool called Deep Motion. I say game changer because it's free to use, and anyone it is Hackathon can use it as part of the project submission of the Meta Pharmacy. So basically, when the EU kind of came up with that documentation, they didn't just do it on their own. They actually got involved 125 individual citizens from the EU. And that was kind of known as a citizen panel with 8 principles. So what I want everyone to focus on is health. They want physical and mental human health to be a pillar for the development of virtual world. So basically what they're saying is, when you create a virtual world, there should be an emphasis on the mental health of the user. It should be free for individual, sustainable, human-centered, of course, which can be enabled with technology in terms of user interface, education, because education can be a problem for some country in the sense that they don't have high quality education system. They may not have internet access, but hopefully with the development of new startup, we should be able to get the rest of the human population access to internet, then get involved into the metaverse Web.4, 4.0 economy, or Web4 economy, right? So what I really liked as well is there's 2 key focus in the launch. One is about, of course, the Cityverse. It took me quite a while to find that document. It was really hard because it's really quite new, but I've actually put the document into the Web 4.0 folder on the Google Drive, which I shared in week 1. And as you can see, they're planning to do something in virtual human twin, right? Is to enable to develop like personalized product drug discoveries, from what Maria said, like for example, to Nanom, but this won't be created directly by the EU. So maybe that could be something that you, as a pharmacy student that's going to become pharmacist, work towards. So it could be like the virtual human twin project for India, right? Every single one of you are pioneer, right? Then, of course, in Europe, we have something called MiCA, which is basically market and crypto asset regulation. So in Europe, we have something called GDPR, which is all about patient data, like customer data, which is even more important when it comes to healthcare. And also they kind of introduced this rule to kind of regulate anything to do with crypto, which can then extrapolate to the like Web4 in a nutshell. So maybe there might be some regulation like this coming up in India or South Asia. So when you do develop this, once you make into serious project full time, try to be aware of the regulation in India, because you don't want to be launching a meta pharmacy and then you have one of the government that contact you and say, you've done this, now patient data has been compromised and you have to pay this fine, right? Make sure to know the law before you provide like health advice to real patient in India using a meta pharmacy scene, yeah? And those are some of the 3 codes from high-level individual within the EU. So for example, there's Margaret, I think she's French or maybe German, by the way, but she does talk about the benefit to health, which I quite liked. Open, secure, trustworthy. And inclusion is very important when it comes to the Web 4. Then you have Drew Bravka, which talks about the future is in your hand. So I'm saying it again. Every single hackathon participant here, the future is in your hand. I'm 35 years old, right? I have a daughter. So basically, in 5 to 10 years' time, I may not be able to do this kind of webinar. So you be the one inspiring the future generation of pharmacy students in India and across the globe, right? So the future is in your hand. So shout out to IPSF for taking the initiative to be pioneer, right? And then you have Thierry Breton, and basically he talks about being world leader in Web 4 and virtual world. And for me, in my opinion, there's so many talent around the globe, and that definitely India as a powerhouse, because there's so many startups that's getting involved in Web 4. For example, shout out to Ajna Lens that creating XR headset similar to Apple Vision Pro and Meta Quest. Blockchain, we have, I put a lot of emphasis to Flow because I'm a big supporter of the full blockchain, but then Polygon is the Indian main blockchain that's been making wave across the globe. And every single one of you, right? The competition is open to pharmacy students across the globe, but only pharmacy students from India is taking part in this hackathon, right? So for this, I salute you all for being pioneer, right? So now another thing I want to talk about is the reason why I talked about Web4, well, embracing the fulfillment economy. So basically, the evolution of the human civilization is that there was the agrarian economy, which is basically agriculture. And then we shifted the economy for agriculture to industrial economy, which is when you have the big factories, the industrial revolution, for like steel, for like carbon coal back in UK. But then the economy shifted to knowledge economy, where people will be working in a big office building, for example, like in big bank, processing telephone call, admin work. But then we shifted the knowledge economy to information economy, where using computer, mobile phone is part of our day-to-day activity in our job role. And I believe that the information economy is going to become the fulfillment economy. And basically, there's this gentleman called Eamon Narula, who's the founder of Improbable. And in his book, he talks about the fulfillment economy, which is something I had in mind back in 2021. But when I read his book, he kind of told me I am in the right track. So basically, fulfillment economy, if you think about it, looking at the progress made by generative AI, just bear in mind, last year when we did first season, it was only 2 days long. At the time, I didn't know about 8XR. We didn't have ChatGPT. We didn't have all this amazing tool that kind of enable you to do music from a prompt. We did have the tool to make images from a prompt, but not the environment, the music, dialogue, all this didn't exist. And in less than 12 months or so, the amount of progress we made is insane with AI, right? And it's only to get faster, faster, and faster, to the point that our day-to-day job may not exist in the future because any task could be automated by AI. So what do you do then with your life, right? So if everything that you do as a pharmacist is already taken over by AI, what can you do? That's when you welcome the fulfillment economy, where the technology AI is giving you freedom to do what you want and that you love. So you're becoming fulfilled as part of the Ikigai, which is like a Japanese philosophy. So the fulfillment economy is doing a job that you do every day and that you love, and you earn money in the process. So instead of doing repetitive tasks, which can be, for example, in UK, dispensing medication is a repetitive task. Now there's more emphasis to have clinical consultation with patients, which is why I work in GP surgery. So this kind of activity could be facilitated with artificial intelligence, where kind of help me focus on what matters the most, making sure the patient takes the medication properly, medicine optimization, and lifestyle advice if they have long-term conditions like asthma, COPD, hypertension, and so on. Hence the fulfillment economy. So if you're interested to learn more about this, I highly recommend this book, because Eamon Narula is a pioneer in his own right. And in terms of Emerald Academy, so I've done a tutorial. I won't play here, but I will definitely share it on the Discord channel. So basically, Emerald Academy is an online course website for anyone that wants to learn about the flow. And I actually did a course there myself for dancers to learn more about Web3. But this is an open invitation for all the participants in the hackathon to do your own course. And what I mean by your own course, I mean, for example, right now you're doing a Metaverse scene for the competition, but what you can do is do a course on a specific topic of your choosing. Think of it like a university project. Yeah. So it could be, how would you incorporate a long-term condition with Web4? That's your team, right? So it could be, okay, so I'm going to choose diabetes. So I'm going to do a course to explain what is diabetes, what are the common treatments used in India, and then explain how we can use Web4 to help optimize treatment for diabetic patients, to offer lifestyle advice. And you can either do it through written content, or you can put a YouTube link into the course, which is you talking, whichever you feel more comfortable. And the beauty of it is that then you can use that link in your CV. I'm assuming you'll be using a CV to get a job in India. So if I'm say, I've created an online course on education on diabetes and Web4. And this itself is like a mark of validation that you know your stuff, right? So basically you have to use GitHub. So when I wanted to put a course on the website, I didn't have it. I know GitHub, but I didn't know how to use it. So basically, Jacob Tucker, you might remember him, for him to help us with the Toucan platform for everyone to be able to launch your own DAO. He kind of helped me step by step on how to upload a course on GitHub. And I've done a tutorial video for all the participants in the hackathon. So it's very easy for you to know how to use GitHub and to put your own course on a medical condition and Web4. And that's a description, but I've done a step-by-step video for all the participants. Another thing I want to focus on is deep motion. And basically, deep motion is something that enables anyone that take part in this hackathon. You put a 20-second clip and turn that video into a 3D animation. And for me, that's mind blown, because before, let's say if you were talking like 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to create an animation using your body, you had to wear like something called a motion capture suit or mocap. But now with deep motion, you do a video, put it, and bam, it converts into a 3D animation, which you can then use in your Metaverse scene. So last year, when I was signed at, when he had this inspiring conversation of introducing CPR. So actually, because I'm a pharmacist, but also do vaccination training, including basic life support, I did a CPR video yesterday, put it on the website, and created a 3D animation. So I'm going to stop the presentation to share the video which I've done. Let me quickly share the video. Yeah, this one. So I've done a tutorial on how to use the website as well, which I will share the link on the Discord channel. Yeah, I won't play the video, just like snippet of it so you can see what I've done.
Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how
So
premium feature.
So as you can see,
we'll tell you how
so that's the video I've done yesterday, 20 seconds, and then when I upload it, that's going to look like, yeah.
Okay.
So as you can see, it's not perfect, but it's still the start of something. And then also I did it again using my own avatar, using Ready Player Me, representing India, of course. And Bayatasa is going to look like. Yeah. See?
That is finished, as you can see. I can check out the animation.
See, that's me. And that's the avatar created using Ready Player Me. So he doesn't do the chest compression properly, but that still is something. But the risk breath.
Exactly what I want to. but
and all this using a video, and it does it like this in less than 5 minutes. And then you can put it in your scene. So I didn't create the scene using 8XR, I used something else called Awesome Metaverse, because I'm helping this hackathon, but I'm also a participant of a floor hackathon, which include Awesome Metaverse, which is here. But that's a scene I created for a proof of concept of meta pharmacy.
you can see it as a meta pharmacy concept. But I just don't want to focus on this. Can you recognize the avatar created? Right, it does animation for CPR.
So as you can see, I created a video with myself. I put it on the website, convert it into a GABL file, and put it into the Awesome Metaverse platform, but you can do the same in your 8XR platform. The key difference between 8XR and Awesome Metaverse, 8XR is fully like you have freedom of creativity to add your own music, add text and everything. Awesome Metaverse is more simplified, where you have to choose different like settings. But this is a GLB file, and then you can upload it also in 8XR, but also in Awesome Metaverse, right? And I just close that. I'll go back to your main conversation. But yeah, and then that's the end of my conversation. I mean, do we have time for question or not at all? I hope I didn't speak too much because I'm off to everyone's timing. But yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful session. Now we can start with the Q&A session. Anyone of you can raise your hand for the questions or type it in the chat box.
And just to say, Bajama is not here today because he's based in Canada. So if he was to wake up, he could have been like midnight for her. But he's part of the Discord channel. So if anyone has any question for him, you can ask him directly into the IPSF Discord channel. But you can ask question for me and Mario about here now.
So I think there is no doubt, sir. Hope you have covered everything in detail. So I think if they have any doubts, they can directly communicate in the Discord channel as well, as you people are available there. And moreover, sir, like to get the doubt clear for the participants who are going to participate in the competition, so they have to create the scenes, right? By using 8XR, they have to create a medium of to present their idea. And
That's what I was thinking, but then, you know, the Awesome Metaverse platform only started using it on Friday and it's very easy to use. So I would recommend people to use 8XR, but if they want, they can use Awesome Metaverse as well. So shall I share the link on the chat?
Yeah, sure, you can, sir. And sir, I would be requesting one more thing, because there are a lot of students asking us one session for the coming session, or else we can create a video. For example, as a participant, for let's take, if I am a participant, if I have an idea how I have to go get into participation of this competition, like the basic recommendations what I have to follow. I mean, if we can make a video, I kind of demo, like I have an idea and I'm participating, I'm creating a scene, and I'm also creating a presentation on one idea, so that it can help some students. Acha, this kind, if I have an idea, I have to create in this way. It could help them, I guess.
Okay, so
I mean, a dedicated video only regarding the competition.
Do you think I have like 5 minutes or so to quickly go through it now, or shall I do a video about it?
We'll do it later, sir. Like we can share it separately to the students in Discord, that video.
Okay,
By
sure.
next week we can do. Yeah.
Okay. And do you want me to share the link to the Ozen Metaverse, or
Sure,
should I
sir.
do it?
Yeah,
Yeah?
sure, you can. Yeah.
I'll quickly get the link. Studio. I've shared the link. And do you think I should quickly go through the basics of it, or just do a video separately for it?
Yeah, you can give basic insights of Ozone Metaverse, sir.
Now or afterward? It'll only be 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah, you can give now. It's fine.
So I share my screen. Can anyone see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Sign in. Tag. So I did this in less than an hour anyway. Basically, once you log in into the website, you go to Studio. There's a meta pharmacy scene I did. But let me do it from scratch so people get an idea on how to do it. Actually, let me go to the scene I created and then explain. So basically, you create a scene, call it meta pharmacy, and then this is to view the scene and this is to edit, and that's to delete. And don't want to delete it, just click this button here. And it's loading up, right? And basically, you can get a preview of the scene. It's still loading up. Let me cut the sound. So basically, you can look around. That's a scene, right? So basically, that's all you need to use, those tool here. So you click on the word, you pick a scene. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You should pick one of them. It's going to change the whole landscape. And then you can add 3D object into it. Remember I was telling you about CSM, but here's some assets you can use already. You just drag and drop. Actually, let me show you now. So I'm just click on it, boom, and it comes here. If I click there once, sure. If I click there once, the 3 most important button, which is also applicable to 8XR, is, as you can see, there is blue. So basically, let's click on move. So the blue is to go back and forth. The green button is to go up and down. This is, oh, should I put the wrong one? Sure. Is it this one? Give me 1 second. Okay. So yeah, this one is sideways, right? And then there's this button to rotate. Similar thing, you can do this. Oh, sadly, oh, should I? This, yeah. And then this is to scale, to make it smaller, bigger, you want, yeah. But I'm just going to do it. And also you can link it to website. So if I click link asset, you can, okay, you have to save it first, but then you can add a website to it. I'm going to delete this for now, right? Then you can choose the sky. So basically, when I go outside the building, I'll show you now. See the sky? You can pick and choose the one you want. So you pick and choose the one you want. Then you can choose the lighting if you want light, dark, or so on. Then this is the one you want to be using the most, is you click upload asset. So you can put your own image, you can put your own audio, you can put your own video, and you can put the animation from Deep Motion, right? And once you all are happy, then that's when you can literally click on this button. And then you, bam, make sure to save it. And then you can do anything you want, right? So, but yeah, Sign, is there anything else I need to cover on this? Because, yeah, so in a nutshell, if I click on preview, that's when you can share that link to us, right? Because next week is the presentation. And of course, you can log in with your Ready Player Me avatar. See, that was about menopause. So if I click on, for example, this video, I uploaded the video, it's going to play. Like might be a bit of a delay, but yeah. So it's like a video you literally put directly into the scene. There's a meta prescription. So if I click on this, you open a new tab, open. And then that's my thing. And then this is the DAO I did last week for, that's the CPR. But if I click on this, that's from Toucan. Yeah, meta pharmacy DAO. So in a nutshell, I need to stop my video here. So in a nutshell, you can either use 8XR that give you more freedom. But if you want to say, Arun, I love it, but I want something very simple, Zonet Metaverse is okay as well. As long as you put mind like content around pharmacy, then that's fine.
Great, sir. So I think, yeah, I think it would help the people also who are unable to understand the complex of the 8XR, or they can easily get into this ozone metaverse. Thanks for getting it, sir. And also, I would like to thank you for making a like CPR scene as per the last video you have created within a weekend. So thank you so much for that.
You kind of came up with the amazing idea last year, but when you said that last, I was like, it'd be good, but we have to use motion capture suit. It's going to be so expensive. But now when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I mean, Simon can do his idea now, right? So like, for example, for anyone, it can be CPR, it could be vaccination technique,
Yes.
how to feed your asthma pump.
Yeah. And vaccination technique, I think it would be great if someone would create on vaccination technique as well, because as FIP is practicing pharmacist vaccination program, so India is planning to take up. So our parent body, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, have kept proposals to our regulatory bodies in India that pharmacists should be recognized as vaccinators. So in India, still there is no vaccination is being not done by the pharmacist here. So there are proposals being given. So someone who could create such a video, it could aware more people as well. Such a pharmacist also is eligible candidate for vaccination.
So and just follow up to what you said, I highly recommend everyone to play around with Lighthouse, because then you have access to so many worlds you can go and play and get idea for your pharmacy, you know. And the only thing I want to add is on 8XR, you can add portal, so you can have different environment. But in Ozone Metaverse, you cannot add portal. But that's okay. Think of it like Ozone, like the Apple, very simple to use. And 8XR is like Windows, which is more complex, but give you more flexibility on what you want to do. So yeah, 8XR or Ozone, those two will be the two platforms for the competition, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay, sir. So I would be requesting for moving on to the next slide. So we'll be sharing the registration link. So on 23rd July, we have one more session of the workshop. So there are different resource persons who will be addressing. And on 30, we would be having final. So before that, on 29th, we'll be having pre-final. Among that, yes, sir. So on the pre-final day, we will be selecting 5 members, right? The five teams, top 5 teams, right?
So yeah, that's the idea, but then I don't know,
based on number of participation again,
like basically if there's 10 people and the idea is next level, I'm like, no, they have to be in front of the main judges. Then me and the team at IPS discuss, hey, let's do all 10 because the idea is going to change the healthcare system in India for the better, so it needs to be given the proper.
Okay, so on 29th we will be having pre-finals, and on 30 we will be having finals. So we have different resource persons here, so we are looking forward to take their insights and their judgment criteria during the session or during the competition. So moving on to the next slide. So as we already mentioned, for the winners of this particular Metaverse Hackathon, the first prize goes for 6,000 rupees. And the second and third prize is consolation. We will be giving 1,000 rupees, and top 5 teams would be receiving .find domains. So moving on to the next slide. So we would be requesting all the participants who have joined through YouTube and who will be watching later in the YouTube. So kindly scan this QR code to register for the hackathon competition, and the members who are in the Zoom, the core members or the members of the chapters of IPASF, you can just go through the form link which is being attached in the chat box, and you can register. So once you register within 24 hours, for the next 24 hours, we are planning to send the Discord link. So you can join the Discord community and you can start planning and start creating your scenes for the competition of hackathon. So moving on to the next slide. Yeah. So this is a basic introduction. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Arun Adarsa sir. I always say he's the driving force and the motivation for IPSF to get into this Metaverse hackathon. Even for season one, along with Mr. Yogendra Kanchap, our former president, they did a wonderful job. And yeah, so for with the season two, we came forward again with the support and motivation of Arun Adarsa sir only. So thank you so much, sir, for bringing on different resource persons and the organizations to make it happen. So I would also like to thank Miss Maria Halime for coming forward and addressing the students over the topic use cases for meta pharmacy. And I also would like to convey my thanks to Benjamin Kocher, head of growth at Lighthouse, for addressing the members with the video, the Metaverse search engine with Lighthouse. So apart from that, being a early morning 5 a.m., Mr. Arun Adarsa and Miss Maria Halime, who came forward for the Indian pharmacy students for this time zone, hats off for you both. I mean, it's very difficult in the early morning coming and giving a talk over this. So I would like to thank on behalf of Indian Pharmaceutical Association Students Forum for your valuable time. So thank you so much, sir and ma'am. I also would like to thank my team members, all the steering committee members and subcommittee members, Sayantika, Aditi, and Akshat, for having technical support and making this session happen. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. So if you have any queries, you can always reach out us in our social media handles. Even Arun Adarsa sir is available. So you can always reach out. He is always available to reply to you all. Yeah, thank you, everyone. So, sir, we'll be winding up.
Okay, sure. And just to
Thank you.
emphasize, like I said, for those that join Discord channel, all the judges and all the speaker participant, I mean the people that give the webinar, most of them on the Discord channel. So if you have any question from week 1 or week 2, you can ask them directly in the Discord channel. So they're available. And also Benjamin said for the weekend, any question you can ask him. So yeah.
Great. So thank you, sir. So we would be requesting all the participants or all the video who will be watching this video from the YouTube. So kindly register as soon as possible and plan on get to your faculty members or head of the departments of your college, take their insights and start preparing this hackathon. It would be great experience for you, take insights in different field. And this would be helpful for India as Indian government is doing 21st century skills India pharmaceutical industry 4.0. So these all skills would be added to for that, and it would be help you for you all. So yeah. So thank you, everyone. All the best. Mohit, stop the live.